ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरद्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 7. Sri Uddhava is continuing to delineate the pastimes of the Lord in Dwarka. He began explaining Krishna's activities when he arrived in Mathura and how he went to the Gurukula, studied, and then after education was over, then he entered into family life. So he married Rukmani on invitation from a letter which she had sent, and brought her to Dwarka after defeating all the assembled kings, including Shishupal. Then next he married Satya, the daughter of King Nagnajit, where the condition was that anybody who could tame 7 bulls would get the hand of Satya in marriage. And he did this. Now the next one, he described about his going to heaven to get the Parijata flower. And when he did that Parijata tree, then Indra came to fight with him. And of course he was defeated and realized his mistake. Then he talks about killing of Narkasura. And after killing the Narkasura, then he installed his son Bhagdat as the king. Because it is a custom that if a king dies, then his post cannot remain vacant. Somebody has to take charge. Like if the prime minister or president of a country dies, then immediately somebody has to be given the oath. So similarly, previously when some king died, then immediately somebody has to be put on the throne. And there's a whole ceremony. So his son was made the king. And after that Krishna entered in the Antapur. Antapur is the inner quarters of the king where the ladies live. And when he went there, then he saw that there were many princes there. So that is the verse which is describing this. तत्राहृतास्तानरदेव कन्याः कुजेन दृष्ट्वा हरिमार्तबन्धुम् उत्थाय सद्यो जगृहु प्रहर्ष व्रीडानुरागप्रहितावलोकैः. Says when he entered there, then there were many princesses there, 16,000 as it is described in other places. And they had been captured by Kuja, son of earth, that is Narkasura or Bhaumasura. And as soon as they saw Krishna, who is Artha Bandhu, who is the friend of distressed people, then they immediately stood up. They were just sitting down like prisoners, silent and happy. But after seeing him, they were very happy. And very enthusiastically they got up and immediately they accepted Krishna as their husband in the mind without even asking whether he wants or not. So they did not give any choice to him. You can sit up there. And after doing that, so they did not come and accept him physically. Usually they come and they take the hand in their hand, but only from far. And then they were looking. So they were just in their own place and looking at Krishna. And in this few words, the whole scene is described. How they looked. It was very important. Looking is very important. Of all our senses, seeing takes 50% of our sensations. When we have 5 senses, out of them the eyes occupy 50% of the perception. And if the eyes are not there, then you are left only with 50%.
More than this, more than.
Yeah, but you are more influenced by seeing. You can listen, and if you see somebody, you forget the name of person, but you remember the face. Because name you don't see, you only hear it. And face you see. So you see somebody, you remember, yeah, I met you, but I don't know what's your name, I forgot. And we are always seeing. So when they saw, then it is described how they saw, because their emotions changed. So it says, Praharsha Vrida Anuraga Prahitavaloke. Then glance, first there was a glance of happiness. They were very happy seeing Krishna, and then immediately they accepted Krishna as their husband. And they were very thrilled about that. This was the first emotion. And the second emotion, which is very much missing these days, which used to be very prominent previously, at least in India, that is the called vrida or shyness. Now women are not shy. They are anything but shy. So the beauty of women is in shyness. Without shyness there is no beauty. This beauty which they show now, this beauty contest, this is modern standard of beauty. So when they looked at Krishna and they accepted him as the husband. Then next is that in India there is a custom that, this is of course an old custom, but in villages still exists, not in the cities, that a girl, when she is married or she is to be married to the boy, then of course there is absolutely no question of that they will meet together and talk and go to a restaurant or go for what is called dating. So there is no dating business. They don't even look. If the husband looks at the wife, then she becomes shy in the father's house, even after marriage. Because I remember that my father had sister, one of them died and one is still there, old now. But when they came to our home from their husband's house or village, and when their husband will come to take them back, then they will not appear in front of him in the house. They have to hide. So in the villages they had a custom that there is a house and then there is another place where the guests stay, and it's called ghar and gher. Ghar means house and gher is like outside another place. Everybody used to have two places. So this house is like what is calling Antapura. This is the ladies' place. All the ladies used to stay, what is called house, and all the males stay in another place. So the males come to the inner place only for eating, and then they go back. So the guest will also stay in the second place. So when he would come for eating, then they will hide in one room. They will not serve or not appear. She is a wife and she is living with him all the time. But when they are in the father's place, so you can imagine the extent of shyness. Forget about this meeting the boy and talking. And they will really feel shy to appear in front of him. Even when they have to go together, first the husband will walk in front and she will be walking behind. And when they are gone, then they will be together, because now they have to go together. So that type of culture was there. So that is called Vrida. So these girls also felt like that now Krishna is looking at them. So they became shy. And they looked at Krishna out of shyness. And then Krishna looked at them and confirmed that yes, I love you. Because there was no verbal speaking. Because I think I have spoken on this, that in India there was no custom of saying I love you. In the whole literature, you will never find this statement. There are so many plays and poetries, you never find this statement anywhere. Where the girl says to the boy or boy says to the girl that I love you. This is not Indian custom. And I was reading this book, he was giving a nice explanation. I mean, this is one of the explanations. You can take. He was talking about 4 types of speech. There are 4 types of speech: Parap, Shanti, Madhyama and Vakhri. This is also described in Bhagavatam 11th Canto. What we speak from our mouth, this is called Vakhri speech. And then there are 3 more levels of speech. So he was, I don't know where it is, but he was saying that never speak your love with the Vakhri, means with your tongue, because he says that the speech is fire. We studied that before in Sankhya when he was describing the creation of the Purusha. And then every sense has a presiding deity. So presiding deity of eyes are sun, and presiding deity of the ears are the directions, and of the mind is moon, and so on. So presiding deity of the speech is also fire. So he said, when you say something with your tongue, then it burns that fire. So if you speak it, then it is finished. So that's why this is also a custom not to praise oneself. Because if somebody is praising oneself, then one will lose that. Yeah, he says you should never express your love for anyone in vakri. Vakri means what we speak. The fire in your tongue will only burn it. If you want to express love, whether for a person or a deity, always use at least madhyama, if not pashyanti or para. These are the three types of speech. So, therefore it was all, they did not say anything from their mouth. They only looked, and then they were shy, and everything was with the looks. Only in the looks they proposed, and Krishna accepted. So there was anurag then, because Krishna, when he gave his approval and he filled their heart with his love, then they also looked at Krishna with anurag, avaloke. So rag is attachment, and anurag is what comes as a response to that. So Krishna gave them rag, and then they expressed anurag. So that is described here, praharsha virida anuraga prahita avaloke. That how did they accept Krishna? Because they said that they immediately accepted Krishna. So not physically, not that they were having hand in hand and walking as they do now. So it was only through the eyes. So it is interesting to know about culture from these verses. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Tatra antaha pure kujena narka surena praharsascha vridascha anuragascha tai prahitaha preshita avlokaha tai jagruhu. So when Krishna went in the inner quarters, and this Narkasura has kept all these girls there, and they accepted Krishna. How did they accept him? By their looks. And what type of looks? So three types. First, the looks was of happiness, then shyness, and then love. So that means their glance conveyed these three things. First, the glance conveyed happiness, then conveyed shyness, and then third was love. These three were conveyed one after another. Mama ayam eva vara iti pratyekam svichakru. So what was the meaning of this? The meaning was that every one of them accepted Krishna in the mind, saying mentally, and saying mentally means not saying by vakari, but by madhyama. Mental means the madhyama speech, and then beyond that is pashyanti, and then para. So every one of them said that he is my husband. I accept. So this is the meaning of this. And when they had accepted Krishna, then Krishna married them. And marrying them was done in a very wonderful manner. So it was not that he put everybody together and made a khichdi out of it. No, he means married them separately. So he says that Asam Muhurta Ekasmin Nana Gareshu Yoshitam Savidam Jagrihe Pani Anonu Rupaha Swamaya. Says that Krishna, this is the most wonderful, one of the most wonderful pastime of Krishna, that he married all of them, and he married them in one muhurta. I was talking about doing activities according to the Jyotish Shastra in my one class day for yesterday, that how Krishna also studied Jyotish Shastra. So one of the purpose of Jyotish Shastra is to know which time is suitable for which type of activity. Because our body is part of the universe, and therefore we have to harmonize it with the universe. Then it is easy to function in this. And if we do activities which go against the rhythm of the universe has a rhythm. Even science has accepted that there is some sort of rhythm in this universe, some music. If you go in the space, then some music is there, some vibration which is pervading everything. So our body also has a rhythm, and because of our nature we can upset it. So we have to harmonize with that. Because we see the rhythms of the universe in the form of the seasons and the movements of the stars and planets, day and night. So these things exist everywhere. So Jyotish Shastra tells us that which type of activity is beneficial for a particular person. That is the utility of Jyotish. So this particular time is called Muhurta. So Muhurta is like 48 minutes of time. It's called one Muhurta. There are 30 Muhurtas, one day and night, and 60 Ghatikas. So the divisions of time are done with that. So there was one particular muhurta which was good for marrying. So he married all of them in that muhurta. But he did not marry them all together. One possibility was that there was one ceremony and all of them are lined up, and then Krishna is marrying them. So there is ceremony and chanting of mantra and then following around the fire 7 times. So he says he did it in one muhurta, but nana garesu, in separate houses. And that does not mean that he went from one to another, but he was present simultaneously. And savidham jagrihi. So yeah, savidham means as per the proper process. Whatever is the process of performing this vivaha samskar, the marriage ceremony, then that was performed with proper fire sacrifice, chanting of the mantras, many things which are done in the marriage. So Pani Ananurupa Swamaya, and Krishna was one person, but he manifested himself as 16,000 houses, and he had the appropriate nature suiting a particular girl, because all these girls were not robots, they had their own nature. So he also became whatever is suiting to that girl. So he says Ananurup. And then he accepted their hand. So marriage is also called Panigrahan because that is the time the father gives the hand of the daughter to the husband. Because as we have discussed earlier, that it is this ceremony is considered as Kanyadan, means giving the daughter in charity to the husband. So he offers this and then he gives the hand, means that now this was my property, I took care of her, and now I am giving this to you and you have to take care of her. So that's why husband is called Pati, means one who protects. And the vow is taken that he will protect her for the rest of her life and they will never separate. So that's why marriage is also called Panigrahan. And before that there is no question of taking the hand in hand, only at the time of marriage. That's why there is a story of Yayati and Devayani. Devayani is daughter of Sukracharya, the guru of Asuras. And Devayani had a girlfriend whose name was Sarmistha, who was the daughter of king of Asuras, whose name was Vrishaparva. And these two girls one day went to the forest as a picnic with other girlfriends. And then they were taking bath in a lake. And somebody has to pass by, so they immediately ran to dress themselves. Because as I said that in India the girls used to be very shy. But what happened that this Sharmishta put on the dress of Devayani. Now Devayani was the daughter of a Brahmana and the daughter of the Guru of the king. So she had that ego that I am the daughter of the Guru. And so she chastised this Sharmishta that how dare you put my clothes. Because this is also another thing in India, it was very much that these are my clothes, this is my lota, this is my plate, this is my seat, you cannot touch any of these things. So everything is personalized, because every object then becomes personalized and has different vibrations. So don't use others' seat or cloth or pots, etc. So then Sarmishta also felt very hurt and says, what are you? Your father is like a dog, he comes to my father's house. I am the daughter of the king and he is living on the crumbs of bread thrown out of the door to your father. So then there was verbal fight, and then after verbal fight, next is physical fight. So there was a physical fight, and then this Sarmishta pushed Devayani into a well. Now fortunately the well was not with water, it was a blind well. So she fell into it and then they left. And she was not even dressed properly at that time, because she was not ready to put Sarmishta's dress and Sarmishta put on her dress. And then they left. So by chance Yayati also went to forest for hunting as a king. And when he was going around, he saw this well, and he went to the well and he saw this girl inside. And she was naked, so he immediately threw his upper dress to cover herself, and he gave her his hand and pulled her out. Now, the point why I am telling the story, because he held her hand to pull her out, then Devayani told his father that he can only marry Yayati now, because Yayati has held her hand. So now no one else can take her hand. So although Yayati was a Kshatriya and she was the daughter of a Brahmana, and a Brahmana's daughter cannot marry a Kshatriya. A Brahmana's son can marry a Kshatriya girl but not vice versa. But this was an exception. So she married him. So that is called Panigrahan. Although there was no ceremony and it was not for marrying, but just because he took the hand, then she accepted that he is my husband. So that is called Jagrihe Panin. Pani means hand, that Krishna accepted the hand. Ananurupa Swamaya. And he took a form which was suitable for the particular princess. And he did this by his Maya. Means by his Yoga Maya. So Krishna in this pastime really proves that how he is the supreme person. Because nobody can do something like this. It is impossible for any yogi or anybody to do a feat like this. So this was also Gandharva type of marriage. We are talking about types of marriage, because this was also like a love marriage. But although it was a Gandharva marriage, still the ceremony was done because it says Savidhi. It was not that they went to court and they made a marriage certificate and now we are married. And these days people don't even do that, they just live together. No ceremony. So even when there was Gandharva marriage, that boy and girl, they agree to marry each other, except as husband and wife, still the ceremony was still performed according to the Vedic system. That is the meaning of Savidham. So this was popular among the Kshatriyas, this Gandharva type of marriage. So this also signifies that Krishna is the master of heart. So he says that he is in the heart of everybody. Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. So that is the significance, that this girl signify the heart. And Krishna accepting means he is the master, he is the presiding deity. So, not much comment on these verses. He says, Savidhe Vivaha Uchit Prakar Sahitam. That Krishna married with a proper ceremony. Swamaya Yoga Maya. So he married them with his Maya, which means Yoga Maya here. And Sushtu Amaya iti. Then this word Swamaya can mean Swamaya, his Maya. It can also mean Su Amaya. And Amaya means not cheating. So Swamaya can also means that he married and it was not a show. Because people also marry for some purpose, right? They need some visa or something else, so they marry. So that is not a maya. That is a trick. That is a Maya marriage. That is not a Maya marriage. So Krishna did not marry like that. It says Sushtu Amaya. It was Amaya, it was true, he was really marrying them. And then after marriage, then it is not that you marry and then for 15 years no children. That is not Vedic custom. So marriage and then children, because the purpose of marriage is not enjoying but having children. So that was also Vedic system, that after marriage there has to be children. It was not just that we marry and now we enjoy. That was not allowed in India. That was not considered as proper. So they marry, and the purpose of marriage is to produce, especially a son who will continue the dharma for the worship of the Lord and following the Sanatana Dharma. That is the purpose. So that's why marriage is also considered as a samskara. It is also considered as a religious activity. Otherwise, what is religious activity about it? So then Krishna, he also had children, 10 each. So 1,60,000 children, 160,000 kids running around. So he has to have few universities just for his family. Because how many students are there in one university? Okay. 15, 20, 30, 40,000. So he had 160,000 sons. And he is not saying about the daughters. So 5, 6 daughters also. So he had 10 kids from each wife. 10 senses, 10 sons. So you can imagine, if you have one son, then how much tension you have. And if you have 10 sons, you have to have 10 sons. So Krishna had 10 sons but no 10 sons. Only 10 sons. So he says now, तासोपत्यानि यजनयद् आत्मतुल्यानि सर्वतः एकैकस्यां दश दश प्रकृतेर्विभूषया. Says, in these wives or queens, he produced sons, and there were 10 sons from each of them. It was like program, not less, not more. Otherwise, the wives can also become envious. It's he has more sons than me. Previously, sons were considered as like a happy thing. Now, people don't have more than 2 or 3 maximum. After that, it is a burden. But previously, more children you have, then it was considered as very good, because that was power, manpower. So people have big family, 50, 60 people in the family. It's like an army. Everybody is afraid of them. So in the village it was like that, More family members you have, everybody is scared of you. Because you take a stick and attack. And there was no police station or things like that. What will happen later on, what will happen. But in the meantime they will smash you. Because there was no telephone. Even if there is a police, it is not in every village, it may be. So before the police comes there, this guy is going to smash everybody, every member of your family. So they used to count. This I remember in my childhood in the village. They used to say that, oh, they have 10 sticks in their family. Lathi. उनके घर में 10 लाठी हैं. Means how many males are there to wield the stick. So then that's how they used to count the power of the family. If somebody has got 10 or 15 sticks, then everybody respects their father. So the father then has a big neck and he walks around because he knows that I got 10 sons with the stick. Anybody raises a finger to me, I tell my sons and they will come and smash the fellow. So many times used to be fight like that. Especially Kshatriyas, they're fond of fighting. Big ego. So Krishna had 10 from each, so you can imagine. He had an army. And then he says that Atma Tulyani. They were not some feeble weaklings. They were like him. So all powerful, good looking fellows. You can imagine the power of Yadavas. Forget about other people. Just Krishna alone. So how many houses they have to build for them to the country? Just one state for him, his family. And then how many teachers to teach them, and tailors and carpenters to make beds for them. So big industry was running just on this. You can imagine the economic boost Krishna gave. There was no question of depression. Because when they grew up, these 160,000, they did not become sannyasis. They also married. So more children. So industry will continue till he wound it up. So there was a big economical boom at that time. The Sensex was really touching the limit. What is it called? Here they call it Sensex. These points they have in share market. Nasdaq. And it's called Nasdaq. Nasdaq they call it. Nasdaq points. Share market have there. So everything was booming. So ekekasyam dasu dasa prakrite vibhushaya. Because Krishna wanted to have Prakriti, his nature, his Swabhava manifest in so many ways. So this is God. These days some little fellows in India, they declare themselves as God. There are few gods. There is one Kalki avatar in Andhra Pradesh and he's got many followers. And there are few of them who are considered as Bhagavan. So if you want to see Bhagavan, this is Bhagavan. If they have few kids, those kids will give the hell to the father. But 160,000 sons, daughters are not mentioned. And then educating them, feeding them, taking care of them, they are all literate. There was no illiteracy like now in India. There is so much illiteracy. Not like that you produce kids then they don't go to school. No, he made proper arrangement for everybody. And they were qualified, they were trained in the Vedic style, studied the Vedas, martial arts, all this, like a proper Kshatriyas. So that's why he says Atmatulyam. So this is really Bhagavan. And Prakriti Vibhusha, to manifest his nature. Prakriti swasvabhavasya vibhushaya vibhavechya. So for the manifestation of his swabhava, Atmatulyani ityukte. That's why it is said that they were like him. So by seeing these sons, people could understand Krishna. Because son is also considered as a manifestation of father. Atma va jayate putra. So one's own self becomes the son. So here they are even mentioned that they were Atmatulya, they were like his own self, like Krishna himself has become manifest. So much grace Krishna gave on people, because by seeing them everybody could immediately remember Krishna. And Prakritischa, Swarupascha, Swabhavascha. So their very nature, Prakriti means their outlook. All this was like Krishna. By their bodily features, by their senses, their heart, means their thought, there was no discrepancy. Internally, externally, they were like Krishna. So this is really wonderful. If you can get even two people whose hearts can match, then it is called Jugalbandi in music. You have seen Jugalbandi? There is one tabla player and another is on the flute, and they have a competition. So that is such a nice team. He will play something on the flute and then other guy has to play it on pakhavaj or sitar. And if you have many people like this whose heart match, then that is called rasa. This is called really bliss. So that is the meaning, that Atmatulya. So how much pleasure for the father that he has sons just like him, obedient and qualified and well behaved. So this is the expression of his power, his bliss, his happiness. So, and then the next verse. Now he comes to his pastime of killing again demons. This is one thing also he was doing very much. Says Kalamagada Salvadi Nanikai Rungata Puram Ajiganat Swam Divyam Swapunsham Teja Adishat. This Kalayavan, Jarasandh, Shalva, says all these people, they were troubling him. They attacked with their army on Krishna's city. Kalyavan and Jarasandh were attacking Mathura. Jarasandh was attacking Mathura because Jarasandh's two daughters were married to Kamsa and Krishna had killed him. So now he wanted to take revenge. So many times he came and he got defeated, then he left. So Krishna was, of course, he has his policy that he stays in one place, people come to fight with him, he kills them. He does not kill the chief. Then chief will again come back with more. Then he again kills them. So he did this many times to Jarasandha. Then Kalayavan came, then he ran away. That's when he went to Dwarka. And then he got Kalayavan killed by Muchukunda. Because Muchukunda was sleeping and he got a boon from the Devas that if somebody will come and disturb his sleep and he opens his eye, that person will be burnt to ash. So Krishna, he was expert. He did not want to fight with this Kalayavan because he is a Yavana. He is not a Vedic person. So it was not worth fighting with him. Low class fellow. So then Krishna went running into this cave where Muchkunda was sleeping and he put his chadar on top of him. So Kalayavan came running behind and he thought that this guy is now tired after running because this was a big marathon. They ran some 50-60 kilometers. And now he is tired and quietly hiding here, so he went and he kicked him. And when he kicked him, then Muchkunda, he removed his chadar and he opened his eyes and he was immediately burnt. And then Krishna came out from the corner. So he was surprised that what is this going on here. So then of course he understood and he prayed to Krishna. So that's how he got. So he says that some people were killed by him and some he got killed by his power. Ajiganat Swayam Divyam, that some he killed himself. Swapunsham Teja Adishat, and some were killed by others whom Krishna has given his power. So Jarasandha was killed by Bhima. So Jarasandha, Arjuna and Krishna, they went dressed as Brahmanas to Jarasandha's kingdom. And Jarasandha was very religious fellow. He will treat guests very nicely, give charities. He was a great devotee of Brahmanas. Only thing was that he was against Krishna. So this is to show that even if you are religious and you are against Krishna, you are a demon. He was not a demon like Kamsa. He was very well behaved. So he received these three guests and then he asked them that what do you want? So they said, well, we are Brahmanas and we want some alms from you. So he says, what do you want? So he says, give your word. He says, yeah, what word? Brahman comes to my house, ask anything, I will give. Although he said that you don't look like Brahmans to him. Because they were, who will think Bhima is a Brahman? He's so tall and hefty. He's only putting tilak like a Brahman. So he said, yeah, actually we are not Brahmana, but we have come to beg you a fight. So he says, since you are dressed like a Brahmana, I give. So he said, now you be my guest, have a nice feast and tomorrow we'll fight. So he says, you can choose any one of us with whom you want to fight. So he says, I will not fight with Krishna because he is a coward and it will be a disgrace to fight with him because he ran away. And I don't want to fight with Arjuna because even if I defeat him, what is my glory? Arjuna is not a wrestler. He can fight with bow and arrow. But this was supposed to be a wrestling bout. So he says, I will fight with Bhima because if I fight with him, at least he is a match for me and I can test my prowess. And if I defeat him, it will be my glory. So then he chose Bhima. And this went on for 27 days. They will fight in the daytime. They will wrestle. At night, they will take Panchkarma massage. Because the body was aching. Then they will relax. They will be together, eating. And then next day again. So finally Bhima was getting tired and he told Krishna that it is impossible to kill him. This guy is too much. He said, I am losing hope. So then Krishna told him how he will be killed. He says that this guy can be killed only if you separate his body into pieces and throw them away. Because when Jarasandha was born, he was born in two pieces. And obviously these two pieces were not together. Half this left side and right side. The left part was separate and right side part was separate. So the father thought it was useless. He threw this body into the forest. And there was one lady, old lady living there, whose name was Jara. So she took these two parts and she was an Ayurvedic doctor. So she did surgery and she sewed these two pieces together and it came to life. So that's why his name came Jarasandha. Jara was her name and Sandha means to join. Because she joined, so the name became Jarasandha. So now the only way he could die is that these two parts have to be separated. So he told Bhima that somehow you pin this guy down and then tear him in two pieces and throw them. He says if they come together they can join. Throw them far away. So then Bhima was fighting, but when he was fighting, he has to also protect himself. He forgot this. He's concentrating on the other guy is not an ordinary person. So then Krishna took one straw and he split in two. So then immediately Bhima remembered and he did this. He threw this Jarasandha on the ground and he put his one foot on his one leg and took other leg and pulled it. And like you take a cloth and you tear it in two pieces, that's what he did. And then threw them away. So that's how he was killed. And Salva, Krishna himself made halwa out of him. So this Salva, he was friend of Shishupal. And when Krishna killed Shishupal in Hastinapur, in the sacrifice, Rajasuya sacrifice of Yudhishthira Maharaj, then Salva was very angry and he attacked Dwarka. And at that time Krishna was not there because he was still. So all this Pradyumna, Aniruddha and the other sons of Krishna, Samba, they all came and fought, but they could not defeat Salva because Salva was very magical. He had an aeroplane. And so he will come in the aeroplane and drop bombs and go here and there, and his aeroplane had the power that it could also disappear. It was not making noise, it was noiseless. Bomber. And suddenly he will appear here and drop bomb and then suddenly appear there. So these people, they don't know fight with whom. You have to at least see the object. So finally when their army was really getting killed and defeated, so they sent a message to Krishna and then Krishna came. And he also made magic in front of Krishna. Suddenly he appeared and he appeared with Vasudeva. And if he has captured Vasudeva, and then he took his sword and he cut his head just to fool Krishna. And then Krishna killed him. So these three are stated here, that Ajiganat Swayam Divyam Swapunsham Teja Anishat. Some were killed by him and some by others. Kalaha Kalayavana. Kala here means Kalayavan. Anikahi Sanyai. And they all attacked with their armies. Rundhata Avranvata. Muchkunda Bhimadivhir Nimitta Matrai Swayameva Ajiganat. So Krishna killed them through Muchkunda, Bhima, etc., who were only instrumental in killing, but actually it was only Krishna who killed. But he wanted to give the glory to his devotees. Ghatitavan tena cha tesham swapunsham teja prabhavam kirtin cha dattavan. So how they were able to kill them? Because Krishna gave his power to them, and not only power, he also gave the fame to them, because they also became famous. And Bhima killed Jarasandha, Muchkunda killed Kalyavan, and so on. So these were the activities Krishna performed after going to Dwarka. I will stop here.
What is the psychological explanation of women's shyness? Was it only a nudity? Because there are also other personalities like saints that we know who are very humble, but it does not mean that they are shy. So
Shyness is, it's basically makes a person restricted to do something improper. That is the real outcome of it, and that's why it existed. A person will not do something which is brash or something against the code of conduct, and they feel shy, oh, I did this.
Mainly related to physical.
Yeah.
All those children of Krishna in Dwaraka were killed when he left the plan, when they fight.
Yeah, they fought with each other and killed. That will also come. Uddhava will speak about that.
There is no mention of Krishna having daughters.
I don't know, maybe later on, but at least he is not saying. I think maybe in 10th canto.
So he had some daughters. What was the meaning of this person who was split into? I mean, there must be some meaning behind it. And then being joined, and then again being killed by the same word.
Yeah, meaning probably that human unit is a combination of two parts, and then only there is strength. Both have to live, not that one side is made dominant and other is just neglected. So both have to be, and if they are separated, then that is as good as death. As long as both are functioning properly, then there is life, and you cannot die or kill.
You are referring to right and left brain hemisphere.
Yes.
And about these four type of speech that you mentioned, so I cannot understand why when a feeling is expressed by a word, it burns.
Well, the meaning is that if you suppose praise yourself, then you become proud, and then whatever good quality you have, then that pride will destroy that, and the other will also become envious of you, because they'll say, oh, this guy is always praising himself, he's just a braggart, he's always bragging. So then if you actually have some good quality, some good character, then it loses its meaning. On the other side, if you have done something wrong, some illegal act, and you confess it, then also that is burnt, because now confessing means, yes, I made a mistake and I will not do it again. And that's why in Christianity they have these confession boxes. So that is the meaning, then you get rid of it by doing that. So just as you get rid of your sin by confessing, you also become free of your good deeds by talking and praising it.
In the Dwaraka Lila we hear about Subhadra, the sister of Krishna, Subhadra.
Subhadra.
Yes, in the Dwaraka Lila. But in the Braja Lila, she is. I did not hear ever from Subhadra in the Braja Lila.
She is in Dwarka, so how you can hear in Brajlila?
I mean, in the time when Krishna was here,
Yeah, she was not here.
she was not here. How did she appear in Dwaraka? Or from where is she?
Vasudeva had many wives.
Oh.
She is not born from Devaki. She is born from another wife. So these different wives were in different places because of Kansa's terror. But Vasudeva and Devaki were put in prison. Like Rohini was living in Braj with Balram. Rohini was also wife
Yes,
of Vasudeva. I think he had 8 wives. 8 or 16. Maybe 16. So it is not, everything is not described where were the other wives. So Subhadra is also sister in, like Balram is also not son of Devaki, he is born from Rohini, but because they have same father, so they are brothers. So like that's his sister. So where she was before, because ultimately they all went to Dwarka and lived there. Vasudeva, Devaki, Ugrasen, Krishna and all the wives. But before that they were all spread out. Where they were, it's not mentioned.
Do Gaudiya Vaishnavas regard Subhadra as an expansion of Yoga Maya, or did I hear a wrong information?
Yes.
How does it come that she is an expansion of Yoga Maya?
How does it come?
Yeah, well,
It must be stated somewhere.
Who was Jarasandha's teacher for the mace, or the wrestling? How did he learn to wrestle? Who was his teacher that he was so powerful?
Well, it is not stated. He was powerful by birth physically. There were few people at that time who were physically very powerful. Jarasandha was one of them, Bhima and Dhritarashtra. According to Mahabharata, these 3 people had power of 10,000 elephants. And Kansa also was very powerful. And these 3 are specifically mentioned. Dhritarashtra was also very powerful physically. So they were born like that. It's like they are child prodigies. Some children, they are very good at music or chess or playing tennis right from their childhood. They were very physically strong right from their birth.
There was one person you mentioned who you said he was a great person, but because he didn't like Krishna.
Jarasandha.
Oh, that was Jarasandha. Okay. But what happened to him? Did he, when he died, did he also attain prem or moksha or anything? Or?
All these people who were killed by Krishna or any of these devotees, they all became liberated. So this is to show that even if you are following religious principles but you are against Krishna, then still there is something wrong. And the asuras, many of these asuras, they were also doing sacrifice and worshipping, but they are worshipping Shiva. But Jarasandha was, I think he was even worshipping Vishnu as doing sacrifice. The thing is that he was against Krishna.
And when Dhritarashtra was also so powerful, did he use also to fight sometimes? What are some?
He was blind.
But he didn't make use of his power, of his physical power.
Except to crush this iron image of Bhima.
So he was strong.
He was very strong.